the sound of your voice. I hope when I find it, it will guide me back home. Cause here in the darkness, there's no shadows around. There is nowhere to hide out when it all goes down. Feeling good was feeling good, and you just slipped away. Time, they say, heals all wounds, but time stood still. Time stood still. Time stood still today. Around my head, the ember from my cigarette reveals what you say. Ashes to ashes, and dust is to dust. Time stands still for no one. It won't stand still for us. Feeling good was feeling good, and you just slipped away. Time, they say, heals all wounds, but time stood still. Time stood still. Stood still today. Time stood still today. Paved with broken promises and gold. She assures me that everything will be okay, but I never can be sure. I walk among the city lights.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm really trying to stay composed over here, but thank you for tuning in. We had a very different show prepared for you guys tonight, but in light of losing a dear friend and musical brother this week, we'll be dedicating this episode to the memory of local legend Bradley Saint. This was a particularly difficult episode to prepare for, and so we are foregoing our normal format and the segments that we usually do to honor Brad and discuss some topics that may be uncomfortable and even taboo to some, but depression, mental illness, self-care, and suicide prevention is an incredibly important conversation to have, so we will have a little focus on that this evening. Joining me tonight, as always, is my absolute partner in crime and my solid rock, Miss Jordan Taylor. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, everyone.
And also with us tonight, bringing her unique perspective and experiences, is the author of the Bad Bitch Bible, a motivational and self-care blog, my dear sister, Ellie Brock. Ellie, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Of course.
So tonight, you guys, we invite you to join our conversation. We have the comments up here as we go through our memories and honoring of Brad. We're also going to talk about the things that I had mentioned. We invite you to join our conversation and talk with us, ask us some questions, and also give us some memories that you have with Brad and share any stories. I will read them, or one of the girls here will read them as they're looking at the comments, and we'll have a nice discussion and a nice time honoring our friend. So I'm gonna just dive right into it because I don't want to get too sad here right at the beginning. Anyway, just so you guys know, Brad is the embodiment of an entertainer. He didn't just make music, but it flowed through him. He breathed his own life into every line, every note he performed, and that all translated to his personal life as well. He was a relentless friend who always offered a smile, a shoulder to cry on, and his famous bear hugs. You guys know the ones I'm talking about. Brad gave every ounce of his light and good away to each and every one of us. And we are all better people because he was in our lives. Tonight, we honor his memory with a discussion that doesn't happen often enough, in my opinion. The truth is, we're not always okay. But it is crucial to know that there is an army of friends ready to make sure that you're propped up and poised to get better. A community to get you through the rough patches. Self-care, especially in times like this, is not a selfish thing. It's imperative. Brad gave away so much of his best to everyone around him, and ultimately didn't have enough left to talk himself out of a decision that sent a shockwave of emotion through everyone that loved him. It is now our responsibility to make sure the rest of our Treasure Coast family knows that we are all here for each other, that there is nothing we can't overcome as a community of musicians, a community of friends. This is the absolute eclectic group of people that came together last night to honor him was incredible to witness. To see how many people's lives Brad has touched through the years was remarkable. It was Brad's kind of party. You would have loved to seen it. So tonight, while honoring the memory of Bradley Saint, we are having an open discussion about depression, mental illness, and suicide prevention, because we all should be aware of our brothers and sisters' well-being. But before we dive into that, I'd like to share a music video from Brad. This is a song written by our friend Joe Dyer and was recorded by Brad. It's beautiful and haunting. This is A Street Called Home. That was the wrong button. But Ellie's beautiful over there. A Street Called Home.
chair from beneath me. I can't stand to watch my little girl suffer, 'cause I can't even make ends meet. So what happens now? Feel like my options have all run out. What I wouldn't give to find a street called home. What do I do now? Feel like my options have all run out. What I wouldn't give to find a street called home. It's a great unknown. Swallowed up in my situation. I'm no kind of husband and barely feel like a father. There are moments when the woman that I love, she tells me that she would rather be somewhere, anywhere, any place but right next to me. But a life she's imagined so far out of reach. So what happens now? Feel like my options have all run out. What I wouldn't give to find a street called home. What do I do now? Feel like my options have all run out. What I wouldn't give to find a street called home. And comfort is out of reach. It's a great unknown. At a loss for words, I've given up speaking of the sky. My faith is all I have left, and I just kissed it goodbye. Nothing's how it's supposed to be. Nothing is all that's waiting for me.
Absolutely haunting. I noticed that a lot of you guys out there shared that video. The very first person I saw that had posted it was our good friend Tony Solomon, who was very close to Brad. They worked a lot together with Tony's entertainment company and, of course, doing gigs with him. So Tony, I saw countless posts from him. So if you're listening out there, Tony, my condolences. My condolences to all of you and all of us, really. So I guess we'll just get into to some of it, and of course, throughout the evening, we will be returning to Brad to honor him. But it's very, very important. I felt that this was very important to touch on because it is an interesting time, and people are going through interesting things for the very first time. And there are some of you out there watching right now, listening right now, that may be going through some things. So I put together this little panel here in the studio, particularly with my sister Ellie. So Ellie, I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Most of us have hit lows and felt helpless, but have not really fathomed suicide as an option. As someone with an intimate perspective on depression and mental health, what is some insight on what leads up to that kind of decision?
Right. Like, I mean, I've struggled with suicidal thoughts my entire life. So, you know, I've been to that lowest point where you're You really aren't thinking of any other option. But you know, it's so hard to dig yourself out when you get that far down. And it's hard to reach out when you're that far down. It takes a lot. But it's an emotional, you know, just to think of, you know, it's for someone who's been there, and has felt that, you know, you know what that person had to go through to make that choice.
Yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And it is rough. It is rough. And one thing that we were talking about before we went live tonight is that it's very important, or let me preface, last night at the jam, I talked to several people, and a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people really were hung up on what they couldn't do. You know, like should have been there, should have known, you know, the 2020 hindsight. And what I feel like is very important for those of you that I spoke to that were feeling that way, and that I didn't speak to that are feeling that way, there's nothing that you could have done to stop what happened.
That's true.
This was Brad's decision, and it was the best decision that he thought at the time. But there was nothing, you know, how are we to know? You can't beat yourself up.
Right.
Because he decided it was his time. And, you know, we're here to pick up the pieces, and we're here to have these feelings and to honor him. But you can't sit and beat yourself up or blame yourself, because
Right.
As humans too, we want to like rationalize everything and make sense out of it. And sometimes things don't make sense, you know,
Right.
like sometimes it's not explainable. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's,
But yeah, it's no one's fault. You know, there's only so much someone can do, you know, like obviously he was very loved, you know, and people express that often, you know, and he loved a lot of people too. But we never know what that person is going through. You know, you never know what anyone is going through.
Right.
You don't know how deep their sadness goes or anything, you know. You don't know how someone feels about themselves and the situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
They could be, you know, the most loving, caring person in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, a general consensus from last night with the people that I spoke with was, and I heard this several times throughout the evening, was he always had this big smile. He always wore this big smile. And, you know, it's what hides behind that smile that eludes us. And as I had mentioned earlier, you know, Brad he gave away everything. Everything that he had, all the good inside him, all the light, he shared it with everybody. So how were we to know? You know, every time I saw Brad, it was just a great time. It was a ray of light. It was a great atmosphere that he put on. And, you know, how were we to know that he, you know, even if he was having a bad day, you know, it's tough to see that maybe this would be an option. So what I really want to stress tonight to everybody tuning in, because I know that so many of you are so close to Brad. So many of you were intimate friends with him. And it's important for you to know that there is a huge group of people here for all of you, for everyone, you know, and that was evident last night at the event because everyone was there for Brad. So many people from such an eclectic realm. It was wild. It was really, really remarkable, and it was inspiring. But I saw a lot of really sad faces, and those are the people that I'm particularly talking to tonight, because this is a rough time. This is a rough time with COVID. This is a rough time with places being shut down. This is a rough time socially for a lot of people. Financially is a massive, massive deal. These are things that we now need to be on the lookout for with our people. This is we're tight knit. It's obvious because of everybody that came out last night, and so many people that I was able to see and talk to and know personally that we're all connected to Brad. We're all connected in this web here, at least on the Treasure Coast. I bring it down here because we're all here together, and nobody embodied the Treasure Coast more than Bradley Saint, and his just absolute spirit. So we are looking at the comments, guys. If you want to chime in with anything, I do have.
You are the only person that can see the comments.
I'm the only one.
I mean,
see
besides like
a
on the
couple,
TV, but
there are other ones that aren't in the chat.
Oh,
yeah,
I can't see.
It's
any of
we
them.
are broadcasting live here on Facebook Live. We're also broadcasting on Twitch and on YouTube at the Brad Brock Music channels on those. So if you're chatting there, it's coming up on our screen, but it's not staying very long. Dustin Lewis just chimed in. He said, I feel like his song, A Street Called Home, kind of reveals some of what he may have been going through, even though he wrote it a little over 5 years ago. And as I had mentioned, Dustin, it's a good point. Our friend Joe Dyer actually wrote that song, and Brad had taken it. The story that I heard from Joe was Brad had taken it and recorded it in his own way, kind of as a surprise. And the result is what you guys just heard a little bit ago. Johnny says he absolutely lays it out there, but the bars and gigs dried up recently, did not help. And you're right. It doesn't help for a lot of people. And if there's any musicians out there that are struggling, like I feel you, believe me. And now is not the time to not reach out. If you guys are having trouble in any way, there's nothing we can't get through together. Yeah,
I mean, one of the things that I've learned, like, overcoming a lot of those moments, was that no matter how alone I felt, like, no one's ever alone. There's strangers out there that want to talk to you. There's someone that wants to sit there and help you. They don't have to know who you are. They don't care who you are. They just want to make sure that you're good and that you are here to see another day, make someone else happy. Like, you're never alone. We're social people,
Right.
There's always someone that can be there for you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I read a comment here from Michelle. She said, he sat at my apartment for hours one night with two of my other friends to keep me from committing suicide. And Michelle, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're tuning in. And I'm glad that Brad was there and your other friends were there. That's what I'm talking about. If you feel in some kind of way, don't isolate yourself. I'm not saying you have to go and run and get a big group of people together, but make sure that there's somebody nearby. People are a phone call away. I'm a phone call away. You can come and hang out with me, and we'll have a podcast, and we'll talk about anything on your mind, and get some people to chime in. Absolutely.
Isolating is probably the worst thing that you can do. Whenever you have an intense emotion, don't ever sit by yourself.
Right.
Like, that's the absolute worst thing you can do. If you're going through that, you have to talk to someone. There's so many outlets. Even if you just sit there and, like, talk to yourself. Like,
Right.
or I do a lot of journaling if, it's late at night. I don't
Right,
want to bug
sure.
anybody, But if it gets too intense, like, I'm calling somebody, like, there's always someone that's going to listen.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
Don't sit by yourself, ever.
Yeah. I feel like that's, you don't need a degree.
But it's hard. It's hard to reach out when you're in that moment because
Well,
not
sometimes
only
you think that's what you want to do. Like, you're like, I just want to be alone.
right,
I just
yeah,
have to be
like,
left alone.
Yeah, you think that's your decision, but also it's hard to reach out because one, you don't want to feel like a burden to people. All those thoughts come into play. You also, you just, I don't know. I get really independent. I'm like, no, I can do this on my own,
Right, sure.
And then I'm just like, nah, I should probably not be alone.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Ryan. It's my pleasure, Ryan. He said, thank you so much for this podcast. It's the absolute least I can do for such an amazing soul, for someone who touched so many, and in so many ways. So, this is a platform that I use to feature our local artists and our local people in the entertainment business here on the Treasure Coast. And this is no exception because Brad was a massive, massive part of it, and left a massive, massive hole. So it's my duty, I suppose, to make sure that this is not left out because it's not fun or exciting. I think it's very, very important to talk about these things. I think it's very important to honor him, because there's so many people that love and care about Brad. So yes, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Ryan, you're the man. I didn't get to talk to you last night, but I did see you running around. So thank you for being there as well.
Suzanne said sometimes you feel like people don't understand if they don't know, if they don't know your situation. That's another thing too, like the stigma around suicide, and mental health in general. Sometimes people don't reach out because they're like, people are not going to be happy about it. I've opened up to people before and said, oh, I'm thinking about, doing this, reaching out, and I've got an angry response. One person told me, well, if you kill yourself, I won't show up to your funeral. And I'm like, okay, like that doesn't help. So, just everyone's got to be kind in those situations, like growing up, a lot of it was, oh, they're just looking for attention. Like, yeah, they're looking for attention because they, we need it sometimes. We need someone to acknowledge, hey, like, no, you don't have to do that. That's not your only option.
Right.
Right. Like there's people that care. Don't do that. But it's still a weird conversation to have, Mm-hmm. It's difficult to go to someone and say, hey, I'm thinking about committing suicide.
Right.
And rarely people will come out and say that. But if someone says that, you can't get angry because it's nothing to get angry about. And, you also can't be like, oh, well, we need to lock you up, which is
right.
kind of my experience with it too, but you just got to be like, well, why? Ask questions, get them distracted, whatever, because it's, even if you don't understand it, you can be kind with it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the truth. It is tough, almost taboo sometimes, because it is such a difficult conversation to have with people. Forgive me for looking away, you guys. I got a link to a video that I'd love to share with you. So this is the first time we're kind of rolling off the cuff here a little bit. But it's a Chili Peppers cover by Bittersweet Heart, and I am going to play that. So just give me just a moment, you guys, and we'll get another video here. You guys see any other comments that have popped up?
I think Bradley's brother commented something,
Really?
but it's gone now. So sorry.
I
It's
see
okay.
it.
I could probably
Joseph Singleton
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
hey guys, I'm his brother. I love all of you. I was on YouTube, but I'm trying to get to everyone I can. You are not alone.
And I mean, that's really the theme tonight, you guys. The truth is that you're not alone. Hang on just a second. And I'm going to get that video queued up here. I just have to figure out how to stop it. I don't want to spend all my time downloading videos, but here we go. I'm going to get that sorted out. All right. We're going to give you guys a break of the heavy stuff here for just a little bit. And we're going to give you back to Bittersweet Heart, a little more music from our good friend, Bradley Saint. So enjoy. Yeah, make sure that the volume's on, though. Actually, give me just a second, guys. Yeah, I know.
Unless, you can read lips.
I know. I'm flying off the cuff here. I appreciate you guys hanging out and going through this. I'm also trying to keep myself together a little bit here as well. So I do appreciate your patience. Staying composed here. Here we go. Perhaps.
I finally found some comments on one of the pages here.
Okay.
And I do love, because from different walks of life, I saw a lot of people post, even in my short time here, just random people I know, all know him, obviously. And everyone has Chuck E. Cheese memories with him, which I find amazing because I love Chuck E. Cheese. And I just saw like the most awesome photos of him at Chuck E. Cheese. And I just think that's the most adorable, lovely thing ever.
Aww.
And I saw Bill posted a comment that he was reminiscing about their Chuck E. Cheese days. So I'm glad Bradley Saint loved Chuck E. Cheese as much as the next kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That
That's
touches
awesome.
my heart. Yeah.
Aw. All right, guys. Let me see if I can't get this running. I think it's up. So let's get down on some Bradley Saint music. What do you say?
Can we just talk about that hair? It's gorgeous.
I know, right?
So jealous.
And the beard. Beard game
Right?
is strong.
Guys can't hear us. So that was one of my favorite songs. Yeah.
You can tell how much he loved music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and that's great. That's such a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, it
as
was
someone that is just that passionate about something they love so much.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. Johnny actually just commented here. He said he loved when he wasn't tied down to the guitar, that he could really be a showman, frontman.
Exactly. That's exactly what you see in that video.
Yep. And
that's the best.
Yeah, I've seen his show, where he was just a solo entertainer, but I've also seen his show where he played with Bittersweet Heart, and when he was fronting Switch and Whiskey for the time that he was just able to be this massive rock star, and it was such a fun show. He gave it 100%. It was amazing. Ryan says, can we pause for a cig?
Marcy says, does anyone have a video of his knee slide across the stage and the back bend?
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's pulling off moves I never even thought about. Well, while I wait on you guys to send me some more links, as I mentioned, this is a memorial to Brad, as well as a conversation on some very important topics that I honestly don't think get discussed enough. And that, of course, is mental health, that is depression, and that is suicide prevention. So one thing that we'll move on to here with Ellie's help is as the author of the Bad Bitch Bible blog, which again is a motivational and self-health or self-health, blog, is here to chat with us a little bit. So Ellie, when it comes to taking care of yourself, what does that entail? Like, what's the brief definition of self-care is the word I was looking for.
Taking care of your mental is first and foremost. Especially with what's going on these days, it's so stressful. Stress overwhelms us, pushes us to breaking points. Mm-hmm. And, you have to maintain your self-love and self-worth. Everyone's going to fuck up in life. Everyone's going to have mistakes. Everyone's going to have struggles. But at the end of the day, you have to love yourself, and you have to know that you are worth another day. You are worth, all the love that people are giving you.
Right.
And you have to protect that over anything else. You have to love yourself.
Yeah. Well, there's a RuPaul that always says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else?
You would bring it back to RuPaul.
I would bring it back to RuPaul.
And honestly, that's probably the hardest part of self-care too. People can take a day off and, rest and recuperate and go get a pedicure, a manicure, whatever. But when it comes to you laying in bed at 1:00 in the morning, how do you feel about yourself?
Right.
That's what matters.
Right.
And that's what you have to protect.
Yeah. It's like when things slow down and you're alone with your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's tough. And nobody can answer those questions except for you.
Yeah.
And we could ask them about each other, but nobody
and
really
no one's
knows.
going to know that besides you. Right. It's so important to be self-aware, to know how you're feeling and to process those emotions correctly, which it's a hard thing to do on your own, and it's a hard thing to learn how to do.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I'm just making sure that I grab some
I know you're
here.
doing a lot over there.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Victoria Lee, who stepped up to the plate last night and held down an entire jam session for so many people that loved Brad and love each other, really. This huge group of people. And she is another absolute ray of light. Anytime you get into a room with Victoria, she lights it up. And just a wonderful spirit, a wonderful soul. Always, if you ever need a pick-me-up, just go to her Facebook feed because she'll tell you that she loves you every day.
Every day. Multiple times a day. Right. I love it. I love just looking at her Facebook.
Great.
Victoria.
Yes, and Johnny Dett says Victoria was amazing last night. Susan McDonald, who is used to work at the gin mill in Jensen Beach, where Brad would frequent. She she said, I miss when I was working at the gin mill on the island, and no matter how bad the day was, as soon as those skinny jeans and bright green Subway shirt rounded the corner up the stairs of the tiki bar, the day was instantly better. And,
Aw.
She told me that story last night, and yeah, I was blown away. Absolutely. The guy lit up the room everywhere he went. He lit up everything everywhere he went. He was always the life of the party. Yeah, Ryan. Ryan said, I never knew how strong Vic could be. That was a testament to her strength. Absolutely. But let's see. I got another video up here, straight from his YouTube video. So let's take a look at this. Let me get to it here. Here's a little bit more Bradley Saint for you guys. Enjoy.
We'll make it through the hurricane. Let's put these waves in the past. Let's get through the rain, time and time again. I hope this season lasts. We'll make it through the hurricane. Let's put these waves in the past. Let's get through the rain, time and time again. I hope this season lasts. Listen to the wind beyond the thunder. Can you feel that lightning strike? You'll never wonder, I will make you understand. But I show you what it feels like to me. This April shower from August to forever. A cooling spring rain on a clear autumn day. A sign that this new feeling will never, it will never go away. There are a few things left out of the forecast, like a rough weather ahead, and most ships won't last. No, they won't last. So don't let go of what you think you see, 'cause there is a truth that needs to be broken from the bottle set to sea. Hold tight and follow me through this April shower from August to forever. A cooling spring rain on a clear autumn day. A sign that this new feeling will never, it will never go away. Never go away. Never go away. Never go away.
Super cool video. Very cool. Yeah, you guys, we love Brad. That is the consensus. That's what we're here for. And that, of course, is what tonight's about. I do want to pop over to the comments here, and there's a comment from our good friend Tony Solomon. He said, what did he say here? He said, I hope he can look down and see the love, the respect, and the mark he left on our lives. With watch his views go from 21 to the roof. It's true. I'm going to miss my little brother in arms. He was in his own zone. Love you, Brad. That's Tony Solomon. Thanks for tuning in, Tony. Marcy said, so my friends and I threw Brad a surprise 30th birthday at Joe's in Jupiter. The whole bar was packed just for him. It was magical. He took 5 Jaeger shots in like 30 seconds.
What a champ.
Enough to make us all gag. Everyone was just so hyped to throw him a party. And we all survived that night somehow. And it was so much fun. And that was evident from last night as well. Definitely like throwing parties for Brad. That's for sure. Let's see here, guys. Again, we do appreciate you tuning in. If you're just tuning in, this is, of course, our tribute to Brad, and also bringing up a conversation about some things that might make people feel uncomfortable. And that, of course, is mental health and awareness of our friends that might be going through some things. So if you have anything to say about that, please chime in also on the comments, and we'd love to talk about that. And just a reminder, there is a group of people out here that are here for you, ready to talk to you, and ready to get you through whatever you may be going through. So that's super important. Let's see. I might have another video here for you guys.
Yeah, there are a bunch of clips people were putting in the comments.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, I'm going to get to a few of those. I'm going to play this one here. I see it's from the same show, in fact. So let me cue that up for you guys. And we will get that going. Now that I have a little bit of an idea what I'm doing. Not much.
Practice makes perfect.
Thanks, Jordan. But you're right.
Yeah.
Here we are, guys. Thanks for bearing with me while I get this sorted out. And we were going to get this video going for you. This is Brad at the Hoffman covering Stellar by Incubus. Enjoy.
Meet me in outer space. We could spend the night, watch Earth come up. I've grown tired of that place. Would you come with me? We could start again. How do you do, man? Make me feel like I do. How do you do, man? Better than I ever knew. Meet me in outer space. I will you doing? Make me feel like I do. How do you do it? Better than I ever knew. How do you do it? Make me feel like I do. How do you do it? Make me feel like I.
Amazing. He's just got an incredible voice, man. That is a voice that I will miss.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Amanda Cat says, I still get chills listening to him. God, does it ever get easier?
The thing is, it does. It does. It doesn't go away. It doesn't get easier. It just changes. You know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And that's okay. That's part of healing, and that's part of growth. That's as human beings, that's really kind of where we've evolved to in terms of loss. I do want to see a comment came up from Sally Joe. She said that mental health should always be talked about and respected, and she said she loves us for doing this tonight. She said she only met Brad a handful of times, but he was always the light of the party, and that is the truth. Yeah, Nina says Incubus was his band. I discovered that today. There's an awful lot of videos of his Incubus jams, and he was so good, man. That voice is just incredible. Somebody has sent another video link here. We're gonna play that for you right now because we had some requests for some more Brad videos. So we are much obliged to do that for you guys. Absolutely. So here we go. Another video. This is You Already Know. Bradley State.
Never thought I'd have a chance. Never once expected anything. You were so untouchable. When we kissed, I could swear it was a dream. Now I'm standing at your door as you change into your bedroom eyes. And then the towel hits the floor. You smile back at me to my surprise. And then I hear you say, no, you don't have to think. You already know what is going through my head. I couldn't hide it now if I wanted to, but I don't want to. You're before me on sheets of red, calling for me to come close to you. You know I want to, but I can't believe just yet. I need a sign to show me this is true. And then I hear you say, no, you don't have to think. You already know that I'm right here to ask you please. So stop until I say so. She pulled me in close, that she would never let go. And this would be a night to remember. I'll keep all of her with me forever.
you don't have to think, and this was not another dream. But I think you already know.
Classic Brad. Classic Brad. Yeah, you guys are right, though. I reading some of the comments, I was able to kind of catch up with you guys. Yeah, more hairstyles than I've ever seen. He was definitely able to change his look around and just embody whoever he wanted to be. And so, you guys, I appreciate you all tuning in. This is our little tribute to Brad. And as I mentioned, a open conversation about mental health, self-care, and reaching out if you're feeling some kind of way. This is a sad time. This is a weird time. We're not going to trudge on and pull you guys through hours of this as we would normally do on a Jams and Cocktails podcast. But before we leave you with one more final slideshow that I was able to collect myself and received a bunch of photos from friends. So thank you guys for submitting those to me to put this together. I want to say again, we are a community of musicians, of lovers of music, of neighbors, and supporters of the things that we do. And Brad was a massive part of that is now missing. But that doesn't mean that there's a gaping hole. It means that we come together and fill that space with the love that he would have given us. And now it's up to us to carry that torch. And it's up to us to make sure that our people moving forward are okay. We love each other as a community, the community that we are. So thank you again for coming out last night. A couple things I want to mention. There is a celebration of life this Saturday at the Taco Tiki in Jensen Beach. You can find all that information on Facebook, certainly by anybody. There is a GoFundMe account that has been set up. That link is actually in the link for this video if you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube. It is in the description there. You can click on that. Thank you, everybody that's already donated so much. Incredible. So donate if you can. And be sure to say a prayer for Journey because that's a long road ahead of her. And say a prayer for some people that are really, really struggling to get through this. And hope that is enough to get them through. Look after your people. Thank you, Ellie, for being here and sharing yourself with us. Jordan, of course, you're amazing as always, keeping this whole thing running. Is it next Saturday, Vanessa? Okay, so not this coming Saturday. I'm reading August 1st.
Oh yes, the 1st.
So that's
Saturday.
Not this Saturday, the following Saturday. Okay, it gives everybody a little bit more time. But you can still find that. If anybody has a link for that, please post it in the comments there. I did not have the link for that handy, but you can do that. I will pin it to the top. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate the support for Brad and his family and all of his friends during this time. I did, as I mentioned, have one more little slideshow to share with you guys. And this was the best one because it was so many cool band photos and photos with his friends and all of his looks. So thank you again. And we hope that you come back and see our show again here. We love you guys. And a big mention that we are always here for you. So we are part of this music community, this family. And I'm always a message away, and I will answer anytime. Absolutely. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Here's one more shout out to the late, great Bradley Saint. Good night. I did it again.